I was busy bottling my urine. Can you see? There you go. This is a channel called The Panic Button. I don't know who these people are, or this person. All right, that'll do. Here we go. lillytino, trans TikToker, accused of what? By The Panic Button.
Welcome to The Panic Button, I'm Nina. So do you recognize this fella right here? Well, this spicy little cupcake has gotten himself into a little bit of a scandal. If you don't recognize this fella right here, he's a trans woman who's very popular on TikTok for going around eating at restaurants and waiting for waitresses and waiters to misgender him. And then he complains
It's like a knife in the heart, don't you know?
about it. I saw this on X. It had said, could trans woman influencer Lily, his name is Lily, be a predator? Listen to this and tell me your thoughts. So we're going to listen and tell her my thoughts. Tell him you get it.
Making this video for weeks now because
Wasn't expecting that voice with that face.
I was just trying to rack in my head.
You weren't expecting a trans person to be abused by another trans person. That's like practically what we do. Other trans people or children. That's who trans people go after, you know? Except me. I'm the only one that doesn't, apparently.
Whether I was overreacting or not, but I felt so weird in the moment, and I still feel really weird about it. And if I could save one person who may be a victim in the future, that'd be great with me. A few weeks ago, lillytino tried to coerce me into having sex with her using her status as a trans influencer with my wife sitting right next to me. I was first introduced to Lily by my wife.
Isn't it interesting how easy it is for these like trans influencers to like pull the wool over people's eyes, like especially other trans people that are, you know, usually you would describe as like vulnerable or whatever. It's so easy for them to just like pick people off like that. It's gross. I don't know how we haven't started like waking up to this shit and trying to protect ourselves against these people, because it just keeps happening, it seems.
Wife. This is a trans woman, and he is a wife. Is the wife a trans woman, or is the wife a biological woman?
Does it matter? Okay, this is probably like a turf-like thing, but let's see. Listen, you have to watch all kinds of things if you want the full truth. You have to watch the turf shit, you have to watch the trans shit, you have to watch all the shit. Anyone who tells you otherwise is probably in a thought cult, because they just want you to watch one side and agree with all of it. That's bullshit, so.
It makes a little bit of a difference.
My wife, who was a member of our Discord server, and she would always tell me about all the hate Lily would get, and I eventually just had a soft spot, and he was like, hey, let me...
Yeah, there's such a way of like, I think it's a really, really common like manipulation tactic, like to constantly go on about like how much hate you get. You see people like Jessie Gender doing it a lot. You know, where she'll be like, well, my day was this bad, and then just show off some like mean comments she got, which is kind of pathetic. But yeah, I think this is a common manipulation tactic. Oh, look how much bullying I get. And then people will feel sorry for you. I swear, like, you get idiots on Twitter like Sophie Molly who like constantly like at JK Rowling, so that when they get shit back and they get loads of freaks like sending them death threats, they can act like the victim and like also manipulate people this way. It's extremely transparent if you're thinking in any way clearly, so.
Let me contact Lily because I understand how bad it can feel.
Yeah, no, I understand what she's saying much better now. I wasn't really listening. So yeah, yeah, very easy way of getting people to feel sorry for you. Just exaggerate the fuck out of like how much hate you're getting. And to be fair, lillytino definitely gets a fair amount of hate. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna argue against that. It's, I don't know. I don't want to say whether it's justified or not, but she's one of the people I can understand more why she gets so much hate. Because, like, the way she acts isn't really cool in a lot of ways. Like, she'll talk about, like, surgery and stuff, using food as props, like, in public places around children and stuff, which is disgusting. And there's plenty more. There's plenty more, like, shit we can talk about lillytino, so.
That was a bad idea. See, there are men like this who go out into the world and transition, and they think they're beautiful, brave women. And they use their trans status in order to make people bow down to them, in a sense, make them feel bad for them.
This is kind of true. Like, we can talk about fucking turf talking points, but it's true. Not with every trans person, but with some of them, definitely.
for going through the struggle. So these men who don't have good intentions will use these people who feel bad for them, and they'll be able to get away with it because they're using these individuals' sympathy or empathy against them. A lot of
God, I don't do this many fucking edits. Jesus Christ.
women do that, and unfortunately, this trans person has fallen into the trap as well.
To have the hate mob on you.
Oof, trap. That's transphobic.
As a trans influencer, and then cut to a few weeks ago, Lily met.
Yeah, so it's 100% not for everyone. People do genuinely get bullied online. That sucks. But it's absolutely like a manipulation tactic when used by the wrong person, like for definite.
Messaged me with the idea of, do you want to go on a work trip with me to Las Vegas? And I tell her immediately.
A work trip? Do they even know each other? Like, you're taking them on a work? That's weird.
No, because I'm on a Canadian work permit, and the moment I leave Canada, it goes null and void. It's not good anymore. But then we hopped on a Discord video chat, and she was still really insistent on wanting me to get to the US ASAP so we could meet together.
Okay,
like, I feel like I've skipped something here, but I haven't. We're like almost 3 minutes in, and it's like, she's trying to meet her already? Like, how quick is this? This is insane.
what this reminds me of? It reminds me
Work in Vegas doesn't seem like a good idea. If lillytino is inviting you to fucking Vegas, then yeah, it never sounds like a good idea. I agree.
of those little girls who get entrapped by
But yeah, a work trip to Vegas. I see what you mean.
guys on the internet who they think are younger than they actually are. And then they go to meet those guys, and then those guys kidnap them. I've heard a lot of stories like that. I've seen a lot of stories like that. This kind of reminds me of it because they start off very, very nice and friendly, but then they get insistent. They start to put on the pressure. And when they're doing it to someone who has a soft spot in their heart for someone they view as a victim, they get away with it a lot of the time. That's why a lot of male predators go after such young women, because they're easily controllable. They're easy to push, to get them to do what they want them to do. And this seems like a prime example of a predator using his status.
Obviously, we have to be like, if it's true, it's alleged, it's someone's story or whatever, but it does fit it fits a certain archetype, and we can sit here being trans cultists, like playing defense, finding any reason as to why this is all completely innocent and whatever the fuck else, but we care about the truth here, so.
Using his victim card in order to get what he wants. But why the pressure? Why are you so insistent? Why is he so insistent? That would tip me off immediately that something is fishy. Something's gone awry. Because I don't know you that well, and now you're asking me to go to this place. I've never hung out with you in person before. I don't really know you as a person. I just feel bad for you. Now you want me to go to Vegas on a work trip. You want me to go to Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So if I go to Vegas with you on a work trip, what's the work trip? You're not being very specific. And why so pushy? And the pushiness is the maleness coming out of Lily. That male aggression, that male pushiness that some men have.
Listen, when you read about like statistics for what most trans women are in prison for, when you see stories like this so often, there's definitely a feeling in me that quite a lot of like, not all trans women obviously, but some kinds of trans women, like this act of transition does seem to awaken something. I don't know if that falls in line with the whole AGP thing, because it's something I need to think more about and kind of work out, but like the kind of male sexuality is absolutely there in a lot of trans women. And that's not always a bad thing, because it depends how you express it and in what way you sort of relate to your sexuality, a lot of things, but yeah, it's like very palpable coming off of some people.
That make women very uncomfortable. That's what
I mean, think of it this way. How many groups of girls are like sharing like porn with each other constantly? Maybe there's some, but it seems more like a male online thing, and that extends to trans women.
He's doing. That's these transgender women, a lot of them have male predator vibes. This is one of them.
She really wanted to know the nitty-gritty of why I couldn't currently come.
Sorry, yeah, that's a bit of a generalization. Maybe I wouldn't go that far. I don't know.
to the US. Meanwhile, I'm just wondering, why is she so urgent about this? Then she just pops out with a bait and switch of, oh, I wanted to actually go to Las Vegas to do OF content together. My wife is sitting literally right next.
What the fuck?
Then she just pops out with a bait and switch of, oh, I wanted to actually go to Las Vegas to do OF content together.
Jesus. I mean, again, listen, if true, big if true, all that shit, but like, fucking hell. How long have they known each other? How long have they been talking? And it's like, do you want to do OnlyFans shit together? Like, no, definitely not. She would have, I don't know how much she'd have to pay me, because that's kind of a thing at the moment, but like, a lot. A fucking hell of a lot if we're doing OnlyFans shit together. Fuck me, that's disgusting.
My wife is sitting literally right next to me. Lily is fully aware of my wife, JC, and how we're together and how we're monogamous. I never hinted to Lily that I was interested in.
Holy shit, a fellow monogamous trans person. It's like finding a unicorn, honestly. It's crazy.
Anything like that. And I'm wondering why she assumed I would just agree to it immediately if borders weren't an issue.
Because this doesn't sound like Lily's first rodeo. It sounds like something that Lily has done before. I don't know the guy's real name or else I would use it. So, men like this, who claim to be trans, mind you, before this guy transitioned, he was a drug addict. Okay. Not that being a drug addict is bad, like people have issues, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he
Is that like the story then? Is it, I was a drug addict, then transition saved me? Is that the story it goes with, I wonder?
transitioned? Like, he said in one of his videos that transitioning, like, saved his life.
Oh my god, literally. Anyway, let's just carry on.
The drugs didn't work, so now the transitioning will. It is working for him because he's very popular. He gets to be around kids, do kid content, and pressure people into doing only.
Do not let your kids watch lillytino content. Excuse me. Do not let your kids watch lillytino content. Just don't. Don't let them. Don't let them watch fucking Jeffrey Marsh. Just any of these creepy fucking queer trans losers that are like in their 30s and 40s, but are like constantly talking to kids and explaining very adult concepts in extremely childish ways, or like encouraging kids to go no contact with their families. And then when I talk about it, some dipshit will come along being like, oh, he wasn't talking to the kids with the have fun going no contact line. He was talking to the parents. Fucking bullshit.
Fans content with him in Vegas when they have a monogamous partner. This guy sounds like a... First of all, I knew when I first saw this fella that he was a creep. Automatic predator vibe.
Like everyone did. I mean, again, allegations, etc., but like, you can't look at someone like lillytino and not think, this person's probably a bit of a freak. She's not one of those people that's like so bizarre that it's like, oh, they can't be a creep because they're so overly, like, obviously creep-like that they go straight back round to being not a creep again. Like, lillytino is like, I don't think anyone has watched her and not thought, don't know about this one. But hey, apparently this is what trans influencers are like, because we're seeing more and more of them being out as creeps. We've had, what, Chris Tyson recently. What does that term mean? A minor something partner. As in, like, monogamous? Or was it something else? Hang on.
Sounds like a... First of all, I knew when I first saw this fella that he was a creep. Automatic predator vibes. And
oh, monogamous means you're with one person. So polygamous, or like polyamory, is like you date more than one person at the same time. Most people are monogamous, which means you just date one person.
anyone who has been anywhere near predators gets a predator vibe from this guy. And if they don't get predator vibes, then there's something going on in here that is blocking that sense of alarm. But maybe that's...
Yeah, for me, I don't know about other people. A lot of these trans influencers, it's like, what with everything with Chris Tyson, fucking Rose Montoya, Demon Mama, most recently, just so many others, like Keffels, shit like that. It's like, how do I trust any of them? If someone was to ask me, who are some trans influencers out there who aren't either groomers, liars, or con artists? I don't really know who I'd say right now, honestly. Kind of seems like most of us, to be honest.
It's because this is a biological male. He doesn't sense that. I don't know. I don't know why people are stupid. I don't know why people just don't get the hint that this guy's a creep.
I don't know that I want to go as far as to say the accuser is, like, stupid. I think maybe trans people do this thing where they sort of want to bend over backwards to help each other out because, like, the world kind of sucks and people are mean to us and stuff, when actually we could do well to be much more discerning. Because unfortunately, what ends up happening is a lot of us turn out to be complete creeps. So yeah, it's great. I love being trans and I love being on the internet.
You know, like people will defend these fellas. Like Eben Preach.
Yeah, wait, hang on.
Defended Chris Tyson.
Were they? Hang on. This is drama. They're not going to play an Aber and Preach clip about Chris Tyson, are they?
You know, like people will defend these fellas. Like Eben Preach. Defended Chris Tyson.
I'd have to find that. I didn't know they did that. If that's true. I thought she was going to say stuff about, like, trans people defending each other over grooming shit, which does happen. Like, with the Chris Tyson stuff, there were tons of people, like, getting involved to change the focus onto something else. Like, oh, you're going at a trans person this hard, but not this other person, which, you know, people are going to go after different things, you know, whatever, but I just want to... Jeez, that was a long 1 second left. Fuck me. Which bit did they say? I have no idea who this is, by the way.
This is not reality. Mr. Beast. Nick Merckx.
It's Nick Merckx.
Why this rumor is a thing. And as you can imagine,
I'm on a
Camera, just hide. So basically, it's like...
Yeah, trans people love to defend, like, predators. The most recent one that I talked about is someone called Demon Mama, who's a lot smaller, so I don't expect as much, but there's still absolutely going to be, like, weird culty trans people that will defend her to the ends of the earth too for grooming a 13-year-old boy and, like, sharing, like, porn with him and stuff, and one of them showing off her dildo collection on camera. So yeah, I don't know. It's not going to get better, and it's not going to keep reflecting so poorly. It's going to keep reflecting so poorly on trans people until we start actually, like, taking these people to task. Otherwise, the more we defend it, it's just going to keep happening. We're going to get called groomers more and more and more. It's going to be that it used to be something that got thrown at us, and now it's something that's actually kind of true, unfortunately. And hey, who's the ones that it really sucks for, you know?
If you want to be trans, just don't be trans on camera. Just hide. On the topic of trans people being on camera, I don't give a shit either. Like, what a non-issue. Yeah, but what if kids see it? So what? Trans people are real. You need to get over it. They've always been real. They've always been around. That's a fact. You may not like it, and that's fine, but they should be allowed to exist in these spaces, and kids should be allowed to see them. Now, it's a completely different thing if you're talking about drag queens and all this other shit. You can have me there, right? Because there's a sexual connotation to a lot of that culture, and that's inappropriate around.
Right? Saying, oh, she's just a trans woman. You're going to see trans women all over the place, so you might as well.
That's what I literally just heard. Maybe I missed the context or something. I didn't really know what's wrong with what they said, but...
Just get used to seeing her as a trans woman and being in Mr. Beast videos. Come to find out, he's which everyone called, aside from the retards on the left, progressive woke activists.
That is the other thing. Like, the Chris from Mr. Beast stuff has been going around for a while because of their association to Shadman. And then the leaks came out and it was like, you know, this is putting a fairly easy one-on-one together to make two, you know. And that was the other thing, like, you'd get trans idiots talking about how people weren't talking about Shadman's other, like, contacts, which first of all is not true. I mean, didn't that Elvis the Alien, like, delete himself off the Twitter? Didn't Nux Taku just take a whole bunch of shit over it? But Chris Tyson was the one that not only was connected to this person and had, like, a picture that they drew on the wall, but, like, they also fucking were, like, talking to kids and stuff. It's like, The thing is the pattern of behavior. And Chris Tyson was the one getting caught doing that shit. Like, the fact that they're trans is, like, incidental, but people will do anything to defend trans people on the internet, so.
So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
You, because no.
Oh, so she just kind of gave up. So why did I even look it up then? For fuck's sake. Let me just get that once more.
Right? Saying, oh, she's just a trans woman. You're going to see trans women all over the place. So you might as well just get used to seeing her as a trans woman and being in Mr. Beast videos. Come to find out, he's which everyone called, aside from the retards on the left, progressive woke activists. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
You, because
At least you're honest. I don't know. I didn't see what Abram Preach said that was so bad. So, hey, I guess that was a red herring. Oh, well.
no, I would not have agreed to that under any circumstances. We didn't have that kind of relationship at all, me and Lily. So after our call, I'm just sitting there very exhausted, wondering, why do I feel so bothered right now? And I think about it over and over and over again.
It's called grooming. This feels kind of like a grooming situation, or like a sprinkle of groomage, because of when you have watched.
Yeah, like abuse has a grooming element to it. I don't know if that's what she's trying to say.
A lot of investigation discovery, a lot of crime, podcasts, stuff like that. A lot of women do. But you'll notice if you watch those a lot or have experience around bad people, you'll notice patterns that predators have.
That's basically what I said, for fuck's sake.
The look that they have, the way that they act, the way that they talk, things like that, their actions. And you'll be able to pick these people out pretty accurately. Unfortunately, a lot of people won't pick out these people that consider themselves transgender because you automatically are blacklisted, called names, whatever. I don't give a shit. You can call me whatever you want. But these people have patterns, and a lot.
I thought she was going to touch on how, like, trans people tend to get manipulated by these people easily. But yeah, I don't know. Somehow, like, trans people and, like, communities and shit tend to put way too much faith in some people and way too little faith in other people. And I don't know, it's something I need to work on because it's absolutely bizarre. I don't know, maybe it's where certain people are really not trying to manipulate anyone, so they get treated with hostility. And then the more manipulative types tend to be accepted. It's very strange. I need to think about that more though.
A lot of women see the patterns, notice them, and well, I just wish.
But I mean, I also like feel this hard. Like I've had one ex, should I say, who, you know, I watch these kind of true crime things and the kind of patterns of behavior. It's like shit. Like how close was I to becoming the victim of something way worse than what ended up happening? You know, because it ended after a certain time. So yeah, I kind of get it. But yeah, lillytino, if it's true that she's a predator, yeah, there's going to be grooming, yeah, there's going to be manipulation. It's the standard thing. They have to convince you that there's something that they're not, right? You know, apart from being trans, that's its own thing, you know.
More people would call it out. I think that's why a lot of.
And here's the thing, by the way, it would be incredibly easy for almost anyone to fake being trans and just kind of do a look or whatever to make yourself look trans. If you have a thing for like trans people, like you could probably take advantage of trans people very easily that way. You shouldn't. And if you do, you know, you should get like fucking locked up or whatever for that shit, depending on what you did. But yeah, I don't know. We make it too easy, in my opinion.
Predators these days go underneath the trans umbrella because it keeps them safe from accusations.
True. And by the way, trans women are like overrepresented. They're like disproportionate in terms of how many of them that are incarcerated for something. They're incarcerated for sex crimes, you know. There's a big overrepresentation of sex criminals within trans female prisoners. Which, hey, that's you know, that's why I feel like it kind of awakens something in some people, like the kind of AGP thing maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of theories going on that I need to flesh out more, of course.
Or, well, anything, being called out. Once you're under that trans umbrella, you're safe. Anyone who calls you out is a bigot and a
You're not safe from me, just saying.
horrible person. They need to be canceled. I mean, this is what predators are doing nowadays, and they're getting away with it. They've been getting away with it, and hopefully one day it will stop. But until then, there will be more victims that will come forward, and hopefully it will stop then. Hopefully there won't be more victims, but unfortunately, because of the cover they receive from retards in this world, they will continue to keep having victims. And that is the sad state of the world right now.
It's kind of a callous way of putting it. I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot of people out there that are going to be predisposed to be easier to manipulate. You know, you get a fair amount of people that go on the internet because they're lonely, especially trans people, because like there aren't many trans people out there. So a lot of them will end up having to go on the internet in order to make friends and meet people. And, you know, it makes it more likely that they're going to go along with a whole bunch of weird shit, such as instantly becoming a socialist or a communist or an anarchist, and instantly, you know, normalizing being weird and overly sexual on the internet, sharing porn with your underage friends and shit. I don't know, lots of stuff.
And what we're living in. And all we can do is call it out.
And I asked JC, did Lily just sexually harass me? Is like, I don't know, like...
It's kind of sexual harassment, I guess. Do you want to do some OnlyFans shit together? Like, no. What makes you think I would want to do OnlyFans with you? You know, I'm not doing OnlyFans with anyone, let alone lillytino. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. We expand those definitions too much. Like, just call it like propositioning or something. We don't need to call everything sexual harassment or sexual abuse.
If I could get you to imagine this, it's like if you had a coworker and they just randomly ask this to you. That's how it feels.
It's not the same. I mean, you don't have to be in the same room as lillytino for like hours and hours on end. You know, when you're on the internet, you can in fact just block people. I know it's difficult if you feel like you had some kind of connection with them, but I don't even know how long these people have known each other. Like, this person, it sounds like lillytino kind of, she slid into lillytino's DMs, and lillytino will probably talk with almost anyone. And like, pretty quickly, the sex shit happened, you know, started. Like, do you want to come with me here? Do you want to go do OnlyFans shit? Like, it sounds like no time at all has passed, but I don't know. I don't know if we're missing bits of the story or anything.
It's very inappropriate. And listen, I have an OF too, and I have plenty of friends that have
Of course you do.
OFs too. But the thing is, collabs usually don't work this way. There's always a mutual risk.
Has this become a thing, or was this always a thing where trans women were doing OnlyFans?
This has been a thing as long as fucking OnlyFans has been a thing.
And such.
No, I don't have a fucking OnlyFans.
I know it is a pattern with a lot of transgender. Well, I thought it was a smaller majority of transgender women, but it seems like more and more transgender women are becoming OnlyFans creators, sex artists. I don't know what you would call it. But what I find really fucked up is that this Lily fella does OnlyFans content and children's content on TikTok. That should bother a shit ton of people. The fact that it doesn't makes
Is a little bit weird. I mean, I don't know what kind of safeguarding stuff like OnlyFans has. I don't know how easy it is to find like pieces of like OnlyFans content when it's someone that's like mostly well known to children, but also as like a large like hate watcher quotient like lillytino does. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a disaster waiting to happen, but I don't know if too many people. I think there was that that non-binary teacher who acts like an utter weirdo on TikTok. I think she got fired or something for first posting and stuff, and also being a teacher. So it's possible.
me want to vomit all over the place, projectile vomit, exorcist kind of thing, head spinning at the utter lack of balls and guts and bravery and spines that a lot of people in this world, in this country, have. It's so fucked up. I want to know the people that praise this Lily fella for doing children's content, allowing children to watch his content, when it is just a gateway to get these kids to watch his OnlyFans content. And if you think that's a stretch, you haven't been living long enough to experience the utter disgustingness some people have within themselves.
Didn't really do much to justify that one, but hey, I don't know.
Evil.
Mutual respect there. And they both already know before the pitch even happens that both
Buzz 99%. Yeah, I think it was that. How are you doing? Just doing search. Yeah, the one that like, I'm not doing an impression because I'm just, I can't bring myself up to an energy level anywhere close to that person. But I'm pretty sure she got like fired for being a teacher and like posting like thirst traps and stuff. I don't know who's looking at like excuse me. I don't know who's looking at the thirst traps of someone like that, but apparently either she thinks there's a demand for it or there is one. I don't know. I gotta say that like overweight early 20s women who look like 10-year-old boys is really not my thing, especially when they also act like 10-year-old boys like on the internet. But hey,
parties are even open to a collab. I never did a collab with another trans influencer, so I don't know why she would even get that idea. But
she hasn't done a sword fight, I'm guessing then.
It's kind of crazy how this went from I'm being a victim to, well, I'm a creator too, and this other creator was asking me to collaborate on sex.
We are getting close to the end. I don't think there's much left. So was it just being propositioned? I mean, I don't know. I wonder if this lillytino person is going to be one of those people that always skirts the line but doesn't ever cross it enough. Because, like, I don't know. It's not a huge thing to accuse someone of. It's not like she's a nonce or a rapist or something. But at the same time, like, it's not appropriate. Even if this person's overage, it's a really weird way of, like, engaging with someone. And I don't know, I kind of resent the trans oversexed freak weirdo like trans woman like stereotype. But yeah, I thought she couldn't be any older than 12 and got so surprised when I found out she's 28. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like forever being shocked at the ages of people. I used to believe the whole thing that, you know, all the dumb shit that happens is mostly because of like the kids, but I definitely don't anymore. Like like lillytino, I think, is decently younger than me. I can't remember how old she is. One sec. Yeah, with the trans men, they tend to look like infants, but they're actually like 30 or something. And then the trans women tend to look like 50-year-olds, and actually it turns out they're 28. Having OnlyFans and then doing collabs, then feel shocked by another creator suggesting one. It's kind of ironic, if I might say so. Yeah, maybe. I think just because you have an OnlyFans, you might not want just some random weirdo, like, wanting to work with you when you don't even know each other. And I don't know how much these people... Supposedly Lily was 31 as of, like, a month ago. So, yeah, she's younger than me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know much about OnlyFans and like the etiquette around it because I've never used OnlyFans and I don't have one. I'm just not very interested in that kind of thing. I'm not like a sexual person really. So like yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Like these allegations are really not much. I mean, she's extremely forward and inappropriate in that sense. But that's about it. I don't know.
Stuff. You know, that's kind of a sticky situation because if you are a OnlyFans creator and another OnlyFans creator asks you to do OnlyFans content, then wouldn't that be similar to a YouTube creator?
You gotta think. If it was someone more attractive than lillytino, what would their response be then? Ultimately, we don't know, but...
Creator asking another YouTube creator to do content together? I'm not really sure. I've never been in the sex industry, so I don't know, but I'm just asking because I don't know the ins and outs of it.
I don't either, but I'm guessing collabing with someone in like a sex way, there needs to be a lot more consent than just making a video together, if that makes sense. I'm not sure. I'm kind of spitballing too. I don't know any more than this person does.
And I'm sure other people have a better idea than I do. But this took a turn somewhere. And now I'm not so sure if this trans person is a victim. I would say no, but Lily's still a predator.
That's a fair conclusion. I think I agree with that. Like, they're not really a victim of anything. Like, Lily is probably a very forward person. And yeah, it comes off inappropriate. I'd find it inappropriate as well. But then if someone was asking me to do OnlyFans content with them, like, I'm not an OnlyFans creator, you know? So that's kind of a lot weirder. I'm not sure.
Lily's still a bad person. This isn't Lily's first rodeo. Mr. Lilly is going to keep on doing these horrible things and getting away with it. I mean, when he's...
Yeah, if I were to make a prediction, I think lillytino is possibly someone that knows where the line is and is probably going to consistently is probably going to consistently like toe it. Because there was something else like to do with her talking inappropriately with like young girls or something. I'll see if I can find it after this, in fact.
He's talking about cutting off his nuts in front of a phone that is filming him at a children's theme park around children. That doesn't give you the upchuck feeling, not at all. No, because it should. And this guy, and Jeffrey Marsh, and all these trans women who have been coming out within the past, 5 years or so.
Jeffrey Marsh is not a fucking trans woman, by the way. He's a weird queer man who needs to stop fucking talking to kids.
We're going to find out that a lot of them didn't have such good intentions and were actually just evil men who used a loophole that other people let them use in order to get away with doing horrible things and having victims. Like and subscribe and take care.
Hey, this is going to be a problem as long as we normalize all this weird sex shit in our communities. This kind of shit is just going to keep happening. What do you want any of us to do about it, you know? Oh my god, Samantha Lux. Why does TikTok hate this trans influencer? I can't tell whether this will be the most soy thing ever or if this is the first time I would ever agree with fucking Samantha Lux on something. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember. There was something about her talking to some younger girl or something on... I should subscribe to Lily Contino. There we go. What's she been up to? Trans girl hates in and out. It's just her stuffing her face all day. How is she not, like, fat as fuck? I guess it's because she's tall. Blair did a video on lillytino. Yeah, I've probably seen it even. I've seen quite a few videos about her. I don't know. Like, most of these are like eating videos and I have misophonia, so I can't watch that kind of shit. But then why would I want to watch this fucking 6'4" man with fucking pink scrunchies and like pigtails? Like, this is like gross. I look at this thumbnail and I already know that I don't want to know, and that if this person turns out to be a nonce, I'm not going to be surprised, you know? So yeah. Oh, protect trans kids. Protect kids from trans.